Alright guys, American Trucker here. I apologize if I look crazy, scruffy, sweaty, soaking wet, but just came out of Planet Fitness. As you know, that's where I like to park. Usually can find parking, usually at least close by if nothing else. And get a shower in here, get a workout, all that good stuff. But today I ran, if you watched my last video, I ran a 3 mile, 3.01 in 24.22 seconds. 24 minutes, 22 seconds. And today I ran the exact same thing and I improved 14 seconds, which is not a lot, but that's my point. My point is, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And so last time when I ran, I explained to you guys, if you watched my other video, I ran a 7-minute 1 mile, 7.5 2 miles on the second mile, and then 8.0 on the third mile. Well, I got halfway through the first mile and I was doing the same thing. So after I got halfway through the first mile, I realized that saying, if you always do what you've always done, you always get what you've always got. So I thought, why am I doing this? How am I going to improve like that? So all I did was just make a small little adjustment, tiny, and went from 7.0 1 mile, instead of 7.5 on the second mile, I went to 7.6. And then instead of 8.0 on the third mile, I went to 8.1. So just tiny little adjustments, little increments. You control your breathing, you work through it, you don't pay attention to, that small the difference, and you just improve little by little, right? You don't try to make drastic changes when it comes to anything in life. A lot of times that's not sustainable. Some people that's necessary, it just depends on where you're at in life. Sometimes you got to do a 180. So you surround yourself by successful people to get to a better place in life. But it goes with your relationships, your finances, your relationship with your friends, family, your kids, your job, your spiritual journey, wherever you're at in life. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. What's the definition of insanity? Is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So I had to bump it up a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna do each time. I told you guys I was training up for a 5K in March, and that's what I'm going to. Sorry, there's people walking by everywhere, but that's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see where I can get to between now and March. And today is February the 20th, I believe, 2023. So I don't have a whole lot of time. Probably toward the middle or end of March, I'll do that 5K. But I really want to knock off some time. So what I gotta do between now and then is just slowly take small increments and get just a little bit, push myself a little harder each time. So if you're in trucking, you gotta do the same thing. If you're doing the same thing over and over again, you expect different results, it's probably not gonna happen. I mean, if you're just counting on pure luck in life for everything you do, then that's probably not a good strategy. So you gotta start changing up some things. If you're in a very dire situation, like I said, you may need to do a whole 180 from where you're at and everything in life. Surround yourself by better people. But if you're in a pretty good spot, you're just trying to improve, make small increments, see how they work out, and if they work out for the better, keep improving on those. But also keep making a list of other areas that you want to improve in. Once you get to a good spot in one area, keep that, and then start working on another area and do the exact same thing, make small increments. So you gotta make moves. So whenever I heard some of these younger guys on these YouTube videos talking about, making moves and stuff, my first thought was, you're too young and inexperienced, you don't know how to make moves. Then I went back and did some self-reflection and started realizing, hey, that's actually a good strategy. Make moves while you're young. I was wrong. I thought about it wrong to begin with. I went back, don't always look at it from your point of view. That's a great thing if you're young, make moves. Make moves while you're young. You make mistakes, you can rebound from them quickly, right? Now, if you got a family, if you got a wife, you got kids, you made that choice. So your first priorities need to be taking care of them, so you're gonna have to work extra hard. If you're single, it's a little bit easier to try to make moves, not be successful, make another move, not be successful, and keep gaining that experience. Sooner or later, something's gonna work out. But if you got married, you made that choice. If you had kids, you made that choice. First responsibility is gonna be taking care of them, of course. And you're gonna have to work extra hard because you're gonna have to do it at night, after work, on the weekends, or whenever you're used to watching football or going playing sports, or doing whatever you do on your extra time. Now, if you wanna make moves and try to improve your stance in life and your where you're at and your value to society, then you're going to have to make small increments when you can, stay with them, and then and learn from any mistakes that you make and move forward. But anyways, I still challenge you guys to make a sign up for a 5K run in March. They're probably already listing out there. There'll be more toward the end of February. March and April is a really good time frame where they start doing some 5K, 10K runs, half marathons, marathons. I mean, if you want to set a goal to run a marathon, start off doing a 1 mile walk or 1 mile run. They have those at most of these races. Then work your way up to there. A lot of these races, I say races, but it's people going out there and have fun. There's not really professionals. A lot of these races that I go to, they got sponsors, and there's some that do go to those. They got sponsors and everything, but I go to like most of the local ones close to where I live, or I might travel an hour away or something like that. I usually stay within an hour or less. But most of them are for charity. So St. Jude's, Children's Hospital, a lot of charity races, that's what they are. So a lot of your entry fee, they may be $25, $35 for an entry fee. And then at the end, you may get a t-shirt or like a little medal or something like that. It's worth, a few dollars. You're not paying for that. Most of that money is going to charity to help someone. That's what most of these races are, benefits to raise money for charities, for good causes, cancer research, things like that. Just all kinds of good, charities out there. You got to find one that you want to support, and don't think of $35 to go run where you can do that at the gym on your own or outside your house. Think of it as you're giving to charity, and those are actually tax deductible. So anything you give to charity is tax deductible. So check some of those out. I encourage you to do a 5K race in March, and then get your first one out of the way. It does not matter where you finish at. Just get your first one out of the way. Get into that atmosphere around like-minded people that want to improve their physical fitness, if that's what your goal is. I'm trying to improve my run time and actually trying to lose 10 pounds, and then go from there. All right, guys. You know my motto: you don't quit when you're tired. You stop when you're finished. American Trucker, I'm out.